I was doing some other martial arts back then, but just found the Gracies. I think I've talked about that story before, but once I found them, I started training. I originally started with hoists, but as the training went on, I actually spent more of my time training with Rickson, and I'm not sure how that happened. It's just kind of the way they schedule things for all the privates and stuff like that. So I just started taking more lessons with Rickson. That's just basically how it happened. Actually, I didn't know who Rickson was for a long time. I didn't really care because, I mean, back then, because all of them kicked my ass. I mean, it didn't matter. I mean, Hoist kicked my ass, Horiana kicked my ass, Rickson kicked my ass, Machados were there, they kicked my ass. It's like, everybody's kicking my ass. So, I mean, I'm impressed with everybody. And I can't tell the difference between one's better than the other because I'm so new, I don't know the difference. So I didn't worry myself about who was better and who was not back then, but I ended up being with Rickson more just because they're scheduling stuff like that. It wasn't because I picked them out or anything like that. It just kind of happened that way. But as soon as I took the first lesson, I was kind of hooked. I was like, okay, so this is exactly what I wanted to learn, okay? So I've been taking martial arts for years, and I've been looking for something to, for self-defense and me to feel more comfortable with, if I get a fight or something like that. And then after that first lesson, I said, this is exactly what I was talking about. This is exactly what I wanted to learn, right? So, so I was hooked right away. So, and I was just so happy to train Jiu-Jitsu that, it didn't matter who was teaching me. All of it was good. It was all making me better, It didn't matter who was there. I'm so green, so, I mean, pretty much white canvas, just, learn as much as you can, from whoever. But as you get better, as I got better and stuff like that, and you start learning, you start training with people, you start seeing the differences between one teacher and another. Some teach better than others, and some have techniques that sometimes work better for my body or whatever. So, but it's yeah, pretty good. And then our short video on Rickson, I mean, a lot of people asking, okay, so I was with Rickson most, what's it like to be with Rickson and stuff like that. So, but just really short. I mean, just basically for me, Rickson's just very, very inspiring. I mean, I've never seen anybody. I kind of put it in a funny different way. It's, I've never seen anybody be as good at one thing ever in my life. If you could be that good at one thing in your life, I mean, wow, he's really, really good at fighting. And then, so I was going, wow, as if anything I did in my life was that good, so much better than everybody in the world, that anybody in the world can come fight and everybody loses because I'm just so good at that one thing. I says, it'd be like, I don't know how, it's just impressive, because everybody watches fights, you're impressed with UFC, you're impressed with skating, and you're impressed with racing, car racing, stuff like that, and you're impressed with the top level stuff. Well, Rickson is the top level stuff and I have never seen anybody that good at something, so that's kind of, for me, it was kind of impressive to watch. That's why I kind of stuck with Rickson, because Rickson's really good. His style of training for me works. His style of training doesn't exactly work for everybody, but for the way I learn and the way I think, it works best for me. So that's kind of why I stuck with Rickson. So not everybody can learn from Rickson, but I think everybody should learn his stuff because for me, it works the best. Does everybody can learn from Rickson and stuff like that? I've seen over the years that not everybody can learn from Rickson. I'm not saying it's his fault or the other person's fault. I'm just saying the two don't click together. But definitely his style of fighting, I says it's the best I've ever seen. I mean, and everybody can argue it. I says, but guarantee it's the best I've ever seen. And everybody's got the little styles, and everybody's got the little moves that they pull off on everybody, and then they can beat everybody. I says, but at its core for Jiu-Jitsu, Rickson, at its core, is the best I've ever seen out of anybody. And I've seen a lot of fighters fight, and I've seen world champions and stuff like that, but Rickson, by far, is the best I've ever seen. So, and I feel sorry for everybody, because Rickson's getting older, and it says I feel sorry for everybody that they weren't able to experience that. I was able to watch Rickson when he was at his height of his career. Probably I was probably in the backside of the height of his career, but just pretty much handle everybody, you know. And I mean, it's just, you would just watch him fight, and it's just beautiful to watch him fight. It's just like, if you were to say his jiu-jitsu is beautiful, his jiu-jitsu is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful to watch, you know. If you want to watch a really gorgeous fight, you know, if you can think of it that way, that's it. And then, fortunately, unless you have videos of him and stuff like that, you probably won't, you know, as he gets older and older, everybody gets older, you'll see less and less of that. You won't get a chance to see that, you know, anymore. And I seriously never seen anybody as good as him, and I'm thinking you may not see that ever again in my lifetime or somebody else's lifetime. I mean, he's very, very good at fighting. You know, I really don't know, but it's my thinking is that it's the way he thinks about it, the way he approaches it and stuff like that. I honestly think that's the key of, you know, how you think about approaching jiu-jitsu, how you strategize it, how you execute it, because the moves are the moves, right? So everybody's got moves. You can come fancy moves. I mean, even the top level fighters can show you a fancy move that they catch on everybody, right? But then they show it to everybody, and then when they try to do it, they don't get it as much as that guy does, right? It might be physicality, you know, bigger, stronger, stuff like that, but it really is the way you think about it and how you trick the guy, or how you know, it's how you, what's your strategy for executing this move. And really, I think that's really the key to the way Rickson is like the way his brain works is in my belief, I might be wrong, but I can't put my finger on it, but I think it's the way he thinks about things and the way he strategizes them. Because even though he teaches you everything, it's hard to duplicate what he does because of the way he thinks about things, you know. Yeah. So I think that's the key to his success. It's not muscles; it's mostly mental, right? And then you can look at him. I mean, he's not a overwhelmingly. He's fit. I don't want to say that. I mean, I want to say he's not fit. He's not in good shape and stuff like that. But I mean, for if you think about it, if a guy who's like beating everybody up in the world, you would think he would be more, right? He would be like some massive, like he gorilla or something like that nobody is like, holy crap. And so it's not physicality, it's mostly technique, which is even more impressive, right? So he doesn't need the physicality, the strength, and the size to beat everybody. He has very good technique and stuff like that. And it's, you know, in my impression, he's taken his body to the limit of leverage, you know, that he can, and then proven to everybody that, you know, leverage does work, you know. But it's not really physicality, it's mostly how your brain works, how you strategize it, and using leverage and connection is everything.